So much emphasis seems to be on, is it a good time to sell your property now? I want to look at it today from the opposite angle. Is now a good time to buy a property? This is the question that many people are asking right now, and the answer, it depends on your circumstances. I pride myself on my ability to provide objective, fact-based information on the property market so potential house sellers, landlords, and buyers can make the best decision for themselves. My role is to educate all potential house sellers, landlords, buyers, and to provide them with the best possible information available and not to convince them to do something they don't want to do. To answer the big question in the title of my article this week of is it a good time to buy a property, it basically comes down to three things. How much will you get your home how much will you get for your home when you sell it? How much will you have to pay for your new home? And how much will that move cost you in ongoing monthly mortgage payments if they're applicable? So to answer points 1 and 2 correctly, I need to address point 3, which relates to interest rates. There is so much clickbait in the newspapers and websites. They're pushing messages to potential sellers and buyers towards the top end of the sensationalized scale. I prefer to define what is happening, the reality. On the face of it, it doesn't look great, but the average 5-year fixed rate mortgage has risen from 2.11% at the beginning of January this year to 6.2% in early November. Yet even though the Bank of England increased the base rate by 0.75% on the 3rd of November, the average 5-year fixed mortgage dropped by 0.22% between the 3rd week in October and bonfire night. As interest rates go up, mortgage rates are coming down, even though interest rates are projected to increase by 4.5% by the autumn of next year. So why did the Bank of England mention in the first week of November that the UK is facing a 2-year recession? Well, some might think this is controversial, yet the Bank of England wants a recession as it will aid in reducing inflation. It's as plain as simple as that, to be honest. And instead of relying purely on interest rates to reduce inflation, the Bank of England is hoping we go into some sort of shallow recession. It will not need to increase interest rates much above the anticipated 4.5%. However, whether it's interest rates or a recession, both will slow the number of home sales here in Oxfordshire and the rest of UK, and it will affect house prices. So will house prices drop? And by how much, and what money will it save you if you wait to buy? So I've spoken recently in my property blogs and articles about the property market and the prices that will be achieved for homes in late 2023, early 2024. They will be between 5% to 10% lower than what's being achieved today. There is no point in repeating why. You can send me a message if you want those previous articles. But in essence, increasing mortgage rates, inflation, and affordability will mean the price people can pay for an Oxfordshire or UK home will be curtailed because of those factors. And let's assume a reduction of 10% in Oxfordshire or UK house prices. So around 80 in 100 existing homeowners are buyers. And when they sell their home, they're almost always likely to move upmarket regarding accommodation and location. So they will pay more for the home that they buy and the property they sell. So if you're in Oxfordshire and you live in a 2-bedroom house, which the average value is about 420k, and want to buy a 3-bedroom house that averages 520k, the difference between both would be just over 100,000. If Oxfordshire house prices drop by 10% in a couple of years, that 420k 2-bed house would drop to 376,000, and that 520k 3-bedroom home would drop to 470,000, meaning the gap would drop to 91,000. So you're basically saving £10,000. So should they wait? Yes, until you look at the monthly ongoing mortgage payments. Assuming our Oxfordshire homeowner has an existing mortgage of $200,000 and added the difference of moving up the property ladder to the mortgage, if our home mover moves now, their mortgage payments would be £1,586 per month, assuming a 35-year mortgage on a 5-year fixed rate at 5.34% with First Direct. Then the other scenario would be if our Oxfordshire buyer waited a couple of years for house prices to drop 10% to save the 10 grand mentioned before to make a move. So everyone acknowledges interest rates will rise in the next 2 years. So the monthly mortgage payments when they move, even though they are borrowing less, would be $1,900 per month based on a 5-year fixed mortgage rate being 7.2% in 2 years time. By waiting 2 years, it will cost the Oxfordshire homeowner £312.51 extra per month in interest payments, or $18,750 in the 5-year mortgage term. The point is that because interest rates are forecast to go higher in the next couple of years, this provides potential buyers with the prospect of locking in their monthly housing expenses by moving now. And by buying now, it hedges against rising interest rates. Consequently, your monthly mortgage payments are going to be higher. It offers an opportunity through remortgaging to lower your mortgage costs should interest rates fall. So what about first-time buyers? So I wrote an article on the Oxfordshire property market only a few weeks ago. Even when we looked at house prices dropping by 18% in 2 years because of the 1988 crash, the market dropped by 20% and 17% by 2008. The savings made on the purchase price were blown out of the water with the 2 extra years of rental payments, the higher deposit and higher interest payments. The actual crisis in the property market today is the rocketing rental rates. Whilst the fixed rate mortgage locks in your monthly housing costs, rental rates are rocketing upwards, and a tenant today can realistically expect higher monthly costs in the coming few years. Though most of the press generally focuses on the monetary aspects of buying a home, there are also choices on home ownership that are not exclusively based on financial decision. So what are you considering when you're buying a home? Buying a home is very personal and predominantly driven by your life events, possibly divorce, marriage, a job move, a new addition to the family, elderly parents moving in. These are often the influences that drive the decision to buy or not buy a property. And home ownership has always been a foundation or a stone of the British dream. Home ownership offers control and a sense of security that renting simply cannot provide. The doom-monger headline grabbing newspapers often overlook these non-economic factors affecting the desire of a potential home buyer. The one important thing from the last few years since the first lockdown in 2020 is that people still want to own their own homes. They still want to have their castle to pull up the drawbridge when things get tough, a place that they and their family can call their own. And never forget that home ownership is much more than house prices and graphs. It's about the Englishman's home is his castle dream. And you've got to remember that most people in the UK have been able to build and grow their family wealth through home ownership. This is why I like to provide the best information on the property market so you can make the best decisions for yourself and your family. Hope this makes sense. It's a long-winded article, I know. This is Damion Merry from Luxury Property Partners. If you've got any further questions, I'd love to help. Thank you.